This is a video showing you how to work the backwards loop cast on as an increase stitch in the sweater yoke. This increase is only used in the yoke in the sweater. The reason I resorted to this is because I found that the standard make one right, make one left, and even going down to pick up a lifted stitch would pull the sweater floats. There was a good amount of long floats in this design, and it tended to pucker up the sweater. So this was my solution to that issue. So what you want to do is you want to take your yarn that you're going to be making your increase on. You're going to bring your thumb from the back and under. So here's my yarn. I've got it secured here with my ring finger. Bring your thumb from the back and underneath and pull it forward. So now you see that this yarn is crossing over this. So you've made a loop. You're just twisting your yarn. You're going to take your needle, you're going to bring it up through that loop, and then just pull your working yarn, and you've just cast on one stitch. So then I'm going to knit the next stitch. And for those of you who are catching your floats behind, this is kind of the midway stitch for this. You may want to bring your contrasting color yarn under and catch your float. I tend to leave my floats. That's just a personal preference. So again, I have another one to make. So I'm going to take my thumb and bring it from the back and under the yarn. And you can see the yarn is now twisted over. I'm going to take my right hand needle, I'm going to go underneath and up. So under and through. And again, here's that loop is on your needle. I'm just going to pull this. And then I'm going to knit, I'll knit up to the next one, and you can see it again. Okay, so I'm up to my next increase spot. So again, I've got my main color here. I've kind of got it anchored here on my ring finger. I'm going to take my thumb from behind the yarn, I'm going to bring it under and twist it around. I'm going to take my right hand needle and bring it up through the center of that loop, and I'm just going to pull on the working yarn. Again, thumb under from behind, around, and then right hand needle up through the center of that loop, and you've just cast on. So I'm at my last increase for the end of the round. Again, I'm going to take my yarn, I'm going to bring my thumb from the back, underneath, twist, and then I'm going to bring my needle up through here. And then I'm just going to pull my loop and knit. So now when I get to the beginning of the round, I have one of these cast on stitches. You will knit them the same as any stitch. You will find them possibly a little bit tighter because of the nature of the stitch, but you're just going to go into the front of the stitch and knit it like a regular stitch, and that's how it'll go the rest of the round when you're working them. And again, I'm up to one of the increased stitches, so same thing. You'll see that the stitch is oriented so that it almost looks like it's somewhat backwards or twisted. That's the way it should be. So you're just going to knit into the front of that stitch. It's the same as if you had cast on underarm stitches and did it that way. When you just cast on those stitches, you're knitting into it. Knit again. And here again, you can see that it looks backwards, but it's not. You just want to knit into it like you would a regular stitch. And there you can see how that looks. There's not a big gap. It's all closed in. The one thing is when you're doing these, make sure you pull your tail so that when you're doing the cast on, it's snug. The stitch is snug on the needle. Otherwise you will have gaps, but as you can see right here, there really aren't any gaps. And that's how you work that increase for the sweater yoke.